All right, guys. So yesterday we left off where I turned 29 and I had officially moved out of my wife's house where I had been living for 5 years. And I moved in with my mom at that point, um, to better my situation and to better my wife's situation too. Because, like I said, we were going at it. And we got to that point, where we knew that a separation was in order. And for some people who are married, they may not understand that. Some people, they might say, well, when you're married, you're supposed to be together all the time. You're never supposed to separate. But the thing is, what I believe in my heart to be the case is that no matter where you go in the world, if you love your wife, you're going to love your wife no matter where you're at. So even if you separate from each other for a temporary period of time, or it could be a longer period of time, like in my case, you're still going to love that person no matter where you're at. And if they really love you, they're going to love you no matter where they're at. So for people who say, well, why would a Christian ever separate from his wife like that? What would be the point of that? I mean, that's not right. But it actually did and does help in some cases for some people to get some time for yourself to grow with the Lord, and that's exactly what happened to me because, like I said, when I did move in with my mom, I moved into this apartment complex where the people that were living there, let's just say the majority of them were not practicing good behaviors. I mean, we're talking about, and it was a small place. It was like a kind of like the only way I could describe it is like a motel kind of a look to it. Real small like that, like a square box kind of thing. And all the people in there. See what I believe, and I was talking about this with my mom the other day. One of the things that I believe is that the more evil that is being done in a certain place or a certain environment, it actually attracts demonic and satanic influences. So, because of the things that the people were doing at this place, they were, engaging in every kind of behavior you can think of. I mean, drug dealing, prostitution, violence. I mean, almost every single day that I lived at this place, a fight would break out right outside your door. So you'd open your door and there'd be a fight right there. Arguments, that's what I mean. Not always physical fights, but arguments. People were coming out of their doors and screaming at each other. I mean, it was crazy. But I know that the reason for that is because of all the negativity and all the evil that have been attracted to that place. And that's a very real thing. Energies are very real. So the more bad things that happen in a neighborhood or that happen in an apartment complex, the more evil that occurs there, the more oppressed that area is going to become, and the more infused that area is going to become with negativity, with evil, with wickedness. I mean, everything you can imagine pretty much was going on at this place. I mean, I myself had gotten into confrontations with neighbors over nothing. It was ridiculous. I mean, people would just come up to you and start screaming at you and accuse you of this or accuse you of that. Every day I could feel the energy in this place. It was absolutely horrible. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, like I said, we're talking about just like people who obviously, didn't have a foundation with God, but were willing to do just about anything to make money, to get women into their apartment. I mean, people were coming out and standing there in their underwear. I mean, there was people just going crazy in there. Just like, I saw everything you can imagine. A guy with his door open every single day with pornography on the television while the kids were walking by and stuff. I mean, I saw everything you can imagine, like I said, in this place. And I lived in this place for about 3 years until I just couldn't take it anymore. And it just became to the point where I felt like if I didn't leave this place, I myself was just gonna, something really bad was gonna happen to me. Something really bad was going to occur. I personally do believe that even for a Christian, if you're not willing to leave an environment that is infused with evil, and if you're not willing to separate yourself from that, then God will let you bring your own consequences upon yourself. And if you start to lose your mind, which was my case, I mean, I was literally like just getting so frustrated that I just couldn't even think straight anymore. So I knew that I had to leave the environment. Now, unfortunately, before that took place, I myself started to, like I was talking about before, about patterns in life, patterns of behavior. I already covered that in other videos that I had related to my anger issues, my issues with violence and things like that. Unfortunately, I mean, like I said, when I was there were people that wanted to fight me for no reason. If I stepped out my door, there might be a guy across the way who was threatening me, telling me, I want to do this to you, I want to do that to you. Didn't even know these people very well at all. Didn't know them at all. Might have known their name, might have talked to them like once or twice, but that was about it. But like I said, when evil comes into an environment like that, and when it takes root, like it talks in the Bible, don't give the devil a foothold. When evil takes root in an environment like that, it starts to literally take over people's minds and bodies and cause them to do things that they normally wouldn't do otherwise, that they normally just wouldn't engage in, behaviors that they wouldn't engage in anywhere else except for that place, because in that place the demons, the evil, the spiritual darkness is there, and it's affecting them on a daily basis.